everybody. As you guys see, there is a space right here because I am having a special guest. Today I'm bringing you guys my niece, who is very sensitive and has a lot of experience with this too. So I know she believes everything I've said here on my channel and in general because things happen to her as well. So I decided to have her on my channel so you guys can hear it from her own words and have proofs pretty much, because this happened 1000% true. So we're gonna do a couple short stories all in one just to tell you guys a little bit of stuff that happened with both of us together. So without further ado, here is my beautiful niece, and state your name.
Hi, I'm Baby X Jules, and I am also related to this beautiful person. We all know the better side.
Okay, so I will leave her information down below if you guys would like to go and follow her on Instagram. And please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us down in the comments if you guys want to see more and hear more stories, because we got many more to come. So there was this one time, this is when I still lived at my parents' house, which we are actually at. So I hope we don't bring back crazy stuff happening here, but okay, it was this one night. It was really late, so I was in the bathroom doing my hair, and it was really late at night. Like, what time do you think it was?
9, 10, almost 11.
Okay, so it was almost like 11 o'clock at night, and I don't know why I was just doing my hair in the bathroom. I thought it was a great idea to be doing my hair for no reason, because I wasn't even going out. So she was in the living room watching cartoons.
And I remember this perfectly because I screamed so loud. I was little and I was watching like cartoons on the TV, as she just said. And so then I remember I was just sitting on the couch, and I used to stay up really late. So me and her were always up. I never fell asleep. I was never tired because I never did anything, and it was over summer. And I remember everything was out. I literally didn't even think she was awake, but then she told me she was in the restroom. And then
okay, so as I'm doing my hair, I can hear her far away watching cartoons and just hanging out in the living room. And since it was really late and she was all alone, she kept like coming into the bathroom, just peeking up and like being curious as to what I was doing. So I'm just like, oh, I'm in the bathroom, you know, like I'll leave the door a little open if you need anything. And then all of a sudden she runs into the bathroom, and I'm doing my hair, and then she runs in there, and I'm like what happened?
I've never screamed so loud inside the house before.
So she started crying, like right away. She started crying, and then I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I remember. So one of my aunts has a son, and they had this car, and it was like the Mater car, a red car that was like racing, and it was a show. And she bought him like this little push thing where you push it and he gets to sit on it, and it makes noises when you touch it or you're on it. And
you literally have to physically touch or move for it to go off.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't just automatically turn on.
And so I remember I was just sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden, like, it's completely dark. This thing just starts to light up. It starts to light up out of like nowhere, and I like, you know when you're frozen because you're so like curious and scared at the same time. I literally was frozen, and I was like, did that just really happen? It went off again, and then I was so scared. Like, my imagination got the best of me, and I remember I was sitting on the couch, and I never ran so fast to her, and I couldn't even breathe. Like, that's how scared I was.
It was just very intense moment, because a lot of things and activities happen in this house. So of course I believe her. Like, I believed her instantly because I've been through so much and things happen in this house, so I knew something was not right. It wasn't just, oh, the batteries, or oh, something must have touched it. So the car went off pretty much and freaked her out and ran into the bathroom, and from there I turned off everything. We're like, forget this, we're going to the room. So that was night one. We just went into the room, and we kept hearing the car thing making noise to the point that I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna take it outside where we cannot freaking hear it. Remember?
It did keep going off.
It keep going.
We were just laying there, and I just remember we're both like, and we just kept hearing it going off, and then that's when she was like, okay, I'm going to take it outside, and then when she ended up taking it outside because of how like it kept going off.
It kept going,
and it wasn't even like it was like you can't. And I thought it was like maybe the batteries were dying, maybe it was going off. There was no possible way that car could go on unless you physically
touch it. Touch it.
And knowing me, like, I would get in trouble if I messed with it, so obviously I didn't.
It was really late as well, so everything was quiet, and all you can hear is this freaking toy
just going off.
Little kids' toys in, like, a scary situation makes it, like, 1,000 times scarier.
Worse.
Yeah.
It makes it so much more worse.
So much worse.
Because it's such a common thing, but it's the scariest thing.
So I told her, I was being brave. I was like, don't worry, I'm going to take this outside. Don't worry about it. And I put it all the way in the front yard because I was not going to go in the backyard. And I just threw the damn toy over there.
Yeah.
And we left it there.
Everything we're saying is completely true. Like, this really did go off.
Sometimes it sounds like it's crazy and it's make-believe, but you can't make stuff up like this. Like, it's almost impossible.
It really is.
I mean, if we do, then we have a great imagination. But anyway, so we're going to get into another quick story. This other quick story is super short, but again, freaky and scary. Okay, so this second time that something happened to her here at my parents' house, my mom was in the kitchen doing food. Asked her to go quickly to the backyard and get the broom because she made a mess. So then what happened?
I remember she had sent me to go get a mop or a broom or something, because I remember I ran with something and I dropped it. And we have a pretty big backyard, and in the backyard, my grandpa has like chicken. It was a cage. There's a cage in there, and I remember like I was always scared to go in the backyard by myself, you know, common kid thing. And
because it was dark, it was nighttime.
And so I remember she sent me to go get a broom, and I heard this little, like, you know when you like step on a can and makes that sound. So I heard that. Oh no, like I was so scared, and so I remember I had to go get it because I was like, you know, being brave, and I went to go get it. I remember in the cage, the roosters, there's like something, and I was like, all right, it's one of the chickens. Remember in the cage in the corner, I saw just these like red eyes, like straight up red eyes. Remember, like, I've never screamed so loud in my life. Like, that was panic. That was straight up panic.
It was so loud that I was like on
everyone
the other
from the house. Everyone from the house literally ran outside.
So I was in the other side of the house, and I still heard her scream so loud that I ran because we thought she physically got hurt or something. So I ran outside, and she's like stuck. Like, she was literally staring at whatever she was staring at from afar, and she was just like screaming and shaking and freaking out. So I'm like grabbing her and calling her name, and I'm like, come on. So we all grab her and bring her in, and like, you know, we all try to calm her down. Basically, she saw something with really sharp red eyes staring at her from the chicken coop from afar. And when we all went with her and she kept pointing at whatever she was looking at, we were like, there's nothing there. So this is our very last story that I'm gonna have her tell, because like I said,
this one I remember.
There's a lot more, and on her own, this is just things that we were all here to witness. I was here to witness, so that's why I'm contributing to the stories. So, okay, do you want to tell this story?
I'll tell it.
Okay, so I'm gonna let her.
Out of all the stories, these are the ones I remember.
Yeah, because this one was kind of the most recent that was here, and yeah, like the really bad one.
I remember I was outside rollerblading. It was like a normal day. I didn't have a cell phone back then, so I actually liked going outside. I remember I went outside to go rollerblade. So I remember I'm rollerblading up and down the little like pathway that we have, and my aunt's car, not this one, the other one, is parked right in front of the gate. And I'm coming up and down. It's a normal day. Everyone's inside. And I remember I come down, and I thought someone was passing my aunt's car. Like, you know how her windows weren't tinted at the time, so it was clear. You could see everything. I thought someone was walking behind her car. Like, they were like, you know when you can look through a car and you could see someone walking in? That's what I thought it was, so I didn't give it a second thought. And then I realized it's just sitting there. Like, in the back seat, it's legit just sitting there staring straight in front, like not even looking at me. It's
so
like,
all she's looking at is
just
their
like
side
a
profile.
And I thought it was like, dude, why is there someone like randomly sitting outside in the sidewalk? And then I realized that that's not in the sidewalk, that's in the car. And so at first I was like, oh my god, like, should I call someone? Like, someone's in her car. And I was little, so I didn't know what to do, and I'm rolling up and down, and me not being good, like, I didn't know how to rollerblade to stop. So I remember just laying down on the floor because I didn't know what to do, and I was scared. And so I'm laying down on the floor and I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden it's like slowly turns its head, looking at me. Oh my god, I freaking hate this. And it looks at me, and I straight up was like frozen, and I didn't scream at that time. I remember I didn't scream. Like right when it's about to look at me, like it literally, you could tell it was looking this way, and right when it was just about to look at me, my grandpa opens the door and he's like, "Te caíste?" Like he literally told me, like, did I fall?
He thought if she fell because she was on the ground with her roller skates on.
Like I was like so frozen, like I literally was just laying there on the floor, and I literally couldn't say anything because I was like I was so frozen in fear, and then I literally looked back, and then I looked back in the car and it was gone.
So immediately when my dad kind of like interrupted that little thing, she started freaking out and screaming and crying that somebody was in my sister's car, but it was nobody. And she said it was like a little kid with the vintage clothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was it was a little boy with vintage clothes. I remember he was wearing overalls, and those overalls were ripped right here. And it was ripped, and that was it. And like his shirt, he had a shirt right here.
So if you guys know and have been here and have previously heard my stories, you guys know that I dealt with a little, pretty much she saw a little boy's like silhouette and got to even see his clothing, but it was a side profile because the way she was skating down this way, and the car was parked right here in the front, and the little boy's sitting like this in the back seat. So my sister runs to my room and she's just like, please go talk to her. Like, I know that you've been through a lot of similar things, and like you probably have the right words to say, because everybody was like freaking out. They didn't really know like how to talk to her because like they believed her. It was just kind of like
they didn't know what to say. Like, it's okay.
Like, it's okay, but it was not okay when she's freaking out. She just saw this thing that's been literally not haunting her, but there's been a lot of things happening. And then now she was even telling me, like, now it's even in the daytime. Like, now I see him in the daytime. Like, she gets it at nighttime where it's more scary and things can kind of confuse you and like trick you. But this was like bright daylight in the middle of the day.
Everything we've been telling is true.
Like
there's no false in here. As she had told me, she had posted stories about scary stories and stuff like that. She had told me, and I had no clue. So everything she's saying is true. Everything I'm saying is true. Just more lucky than others. And it's still it's hard to like let something like that
if
go.
If you believe in the paranormal, then great. I'm sure you're on board and probably even have similar situations happening. But if you don't think this is all make believe and stuff, it's still story time. They're still interesting. They're still entertainment. So just watch it and have a good time. I mean, listening to these stories. But they are 1,000% true. And we have many, 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 many more stories to tell. But I guess we're going to end it here. And until next time, we will talk to you guys on our next video. So, bye. Josh, don't be in the scary video.
Okay.
Skeleton boy.
Why aren't you in this? Like it was the
it just out of nowhere. She wants to go outside. She's just getting